What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. Now, this is the follow-up to Jdeas, okay? Being caught dropping something and putting something in Deontay Wilder's mouth. So, I did it this way on purpose. Because I knew I was going to do a follow-up, and I didn't really want to make the video longer than I just wanted to make it shorter. Because I said I'd do this way, and then I'm going to do the follow-up. Okay. Let me say this, because I just want to make some real quick and valid points. Intelligent people will get it. Of course, idiot minions won't, which is fine with me. You know, and to the idiot that made a comment in one of my last videos about, what you mean we following what Wilder said? Do you realize these allegations was way before Wilder said anything? Right, you dumb, stupid jackass, which is what I stated also in the fucking video, did I not? Okay, but what I said was exactly what you did. You respond to everything Wilder says as if it's true because he said it. There's no questioning what Wilder says. There's no questioning what the LDBC says. Okay, and you prove it just by doing exactly what you did. And on top of that, I saw you on several channels making the same hate comments about AJ and Fury and all these other British fighters. Okay? So let's not sit here and play stupid. Well, at least in your case, you're not playing. At the end of the day, what I said is what I meant. And you respond to the term minions or sheep, because that's what you are. Simple as that. That's the only reason you respond. Now, fuck you, let's move on. Back to Jdeas. Okay, here's what happens. It was in between the 6th and 7th round. Before that, Mark Breland was the one in the corner with him in between rounds. But before that, Jdeas was the first one to put water in his mouth. Okay? Which is when, mind you, he said it. Now, mind you, let's go deeper. Wilder said, and remember, he said like 15 minutes before he came out, I just couldn't believe the things that was happening to me behind backstage. Remember that. Nobody has touched on that and brought that up in more recently of, okay, so what happened? Because let's listen, remember, the narrative has changed now to Wilder felt weak once the bell rang, like during the fight. So what people is the picture that they get is that in the corner, Mark Breland spiked his water and was giving him poisoned water in the corner. The narrative constantly changes, and people start to forget what the initial comments and statements were. Wilder, at the end of that fight, what was he when he was talking? He was like, just like things that I couldn't believe that this thing that happened to me. And remember the interviewer said, you mean like things that Fury was doing or his adjustments? And he's like, no, just like things that happened like 15 minutes before I came out. Like things I can't speak on. Remember, and people made certain mentions, but that kind of got swept under the rug. So no, Wilder was saying his legs were weak before he even got to the dressing room. Remember that. But he didn't elaborate on that. So what happened? Even when he talked to the last interview he just did, he did not even mention that about what happened to him in the dressing room. That never even came up. Nobody pressed him on that. Okay. So what caused his legs to be weak? Now, we don't know, right? I still say it was nerves. Based on all the bullshit that was said and how nothing was solved. Now, let's go to Jdeas. Now, let me tell y'all something, right? If your tongue is swollen, we don't know if it was his fucking tongue or if his lip was bleeding. Sometimes it's the gums. You don't know what it was. Regardless, okay, they will use ice to try to keep the swelling down, of course, and stop the bleeding. Sometimes they'll take the towel. What was weird about it is if you look at the positioning of Jdeas' hands, it wasn't fucking ice, okay? No. And why in the fuck would he be pressing his mouthpiece on his tongue? Wasn't his fucking mouthpiece, no. And it wasn't ice, okay? It wasn't ice. You could see even the way it hit the mat, it wasn't ice, even the shape of it. And Jdeas was doing everything from under the towel. From under the towel. Okay? Now, what he was putting in Wilder's mouth, I don't know. But, like I said, whatever it was, Wilder was accepting. He knew, like, whatever. He allowed it, right? Now, was it some illegal substance? I don't know. Was it gauze? I don't know. But the fact that he had his hand under the towel, how he was, it's like he was trying to not let the camera see exactly what he was doing. Who knows, right? Here's my thing. We could sit here and make speculation. And we can say it could have been this, it could have been that. But what you want to know what's funny? Everything that we saw. Let's be real with yourselves. Even you fucking minions and you idiots that will sit there and try to defend like, well, how can you say it was this and this? Well, was you saying that same shit when everybody is saying, oh, it's a fact. It's a fact. Fury cheated. Even from the point of the camera being turned off in the dressing room. Everything was a key, was a lead to finding clues, right? Everything we just saw. You tell me, if fucking Ricky Hatton or whoever the fuck was in Tyson Fury's corner, you tell me if the same shit would have happened. They wouldn't have been like, you can clearly see a white substance fall from Ricky Hatton. You see it? You can see this? They would have had the little red circle and all that shit. Everything that we saw in that video that Wilder and Jdeas was doing. If it was shoe on the other foot, we already know for a fucking fact. It would be, it's proof, it's proof, it's proof. See, what I'm saying is, if it was proof, we still can't identify what it was. So proof of what? We don't know. Did he give him something illegal? This is Aries talking. I'm speaking for me. I don't know. This is not about tit for tat. Oh, since they're saying that, I'm going to say this. No. No. But I wanted to put the first video out as well so you guys can start to think about it and really... Because no, I'm not changing my stance on this shit at all. Because like I said, if that was Tyson Fury's camp, it would have been, oh, it's proof, it's proof, it's proof. It was this, it was that. It would have been all types of shit. But now because it's like now Team Wilder's looking suspicious, now all of a sudden they're quiet as a fucking mouse. And they're trying to debunk what how could you debunk anything? You don't even know what the fuck it was. But there's no suspicion from the LDBC or from any of the other minions, right? No. No, it's everybody else is overreacting. You want to control the narrative of what we believe. Oh, so because something fell, that doesn't mean anything. Right, it could have been gauze. Yes, it could have been gauze. It wasn't ice, and it wasn't a fucking mouthpiece. Could have been gauze. Could have been. You know, what was happening in that corner, okay? What was happening in that corner is raising a lot of suspicion. So here's the thing. We've gotten from the minions, okay, that, oh, I don't trust no commissioner. I don't trust the referees. I don't trust even the doctors. They can lie. Okay, they can lie. Well, in other words, if people are saying, how can you say that Fury cheated? For sure. You don't know that. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's dirty. Well, why wouldn't they lie for Wilder too then? How we know they didn't alter his piss test and say, nah, he passed it? How do we know that? Okay, since y'all wanna go back and throw things, you know, at one fighter, but it doesn't go for the other fighter. You see, this is the thing I'm saying. I never once said Fury would or wouldn't cheat. I don't know what he wouldn't do. Just like I don't know what Wilder would or wouldn't do. I don't know. I can't say I'm not them. Okay, but I can tell you this. Wilder was not responsive in that corner. When they was talking to Wilder, you could see Wilder looking down, you know, and depending on which video you see too, because a lot of this, all the recordings, like a lot of it they wasn't getting the corners. It was, you know, everything else. And since they put these videos up, there's a lot of editing going on, where they edit out the corner, you know, what's going on in the corners and things like that. But I know in that last round, when the suspicious looking round, okay, at the end of round 6, Wilder, you could see the concern on JD's face, like you know, he's looking and he's talking to Wilder, almost got his forehead on Wilder's forehead. He's talking to Wilder. Wilder's barely, he's not saying anything. Towards the end, I couldn't hear what either one of them was saying, but you can like see Wilder's lips move finally. So Wilder in that corner, and I'm bringing this point up to say this, okay? When your corner is talking to you and you're barely responding, it's a concern there. Because it's like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Like, you know, all right? Even though you're saying you're okay, or maybe that doesn't mean you are. You don't look okay. You don't sound okay. Okay? So anybody with concern for a person will feel like, you know what? This is the warrior in him, right? That want to keep going, but he's taking too much punishment. He threw the towel in. Okay? Wilder is saying Mark didn't even say nothing to me. He didn't warn me. He just did it. But we know he spoke to Jdeas, right? Jdeas didn't relay that message to Wilder. Whatever, he just blew it off, dismissed it or whatever. I doubt that you're in the middle of a fight. You just forgot all of a sudden. Okay? And for the idiots that, oh man, but when you're in the middle of a fight, motherfucker, I done been in. You're not talking to a motherfucking couch potato. Okay? Let's not sit here and make it like when you're in the ring, it's some blind rage. You're just mindless. You don't know what the fuck is going on. You know what's going on. Okay? Wilder was not really responsive in that corner, man. He was looking down the majority of the times, and whatever was going on, okay, in his head, it should have got their concern. Okay, if you walk in a house and somebody in your house barely, you know, you say, hey, how you doing? And they barely speak, what's the first thing you say? You all right? What's good? Like, because their response is not, you know, hey, what's up? It's kind of, you know, like they're in some kind of mood. Okay. So the towel being thrown in, and basically this being said to be a part of the plan, just so Wilder could lose. Well, look, what if Wilder would have got seriously hurt? All of these motherfuckers would have been saying they wanted Wilder to get hurt. They wanted something to happen to him. They should have stopped the fight, and they would have used any excuse that something was wrong, Fury cheated. It would have used that as you know, and Wilder, because of him cheating, Wilder hadn't had no fight in him. They would have come up with some other excuse. It don't matter. At the end of the day, as much as Wilder is complaining about this situation, his wife may even be complaining. Who knows what they talk about? She may be telling him different. Who knows? But I believe his kids and his wife would much rather he live to fight another day than the fact that, as opposed to, you know, them sitting at his bedside in some hospital, some nursing home somewhere, he's brain dead. You know, at the end of the day, the man was getting beat up bad. And I'm watching, and it was between the 6th and 7th round when that happened, when Jdeas was in the corner instead of Mark Breland. Okay, what I'm saying is, it's so easy for people to sit here and say, but Tyson Fury's known to be a cheater, man. He's this, he's that, and why was such and such hand under the towel? Why did he have, you couldn't see his hand? Why can't the same questions be asked towards Team Wilder? I mean, one of the things that I always look at, and it's funny because I don't hear other people bring this up as a comparison from one statement, from a guy making one statement who's being hypocritical, which is this. You know, I hear Wilder say, I helped Fury when he's at his lowest point, when he wanted to commit suicide, he was on drugs. Okay, but Wilder himself, and I posted that video and let you guys hear Wilder say it. Wilder himself was talking about, and I don't give a fuck about boxing, what time it was in his life. No, he said he had a gun on his lap and was ready to blow his own head off because he was going through a depression, because he didn't know how he was going to feed his family. He didn't know how he was going to take care of his daughter, and he was going through it. So everybody at some point had something happen where somebody helped you, something, whether even for people, let me tell y'all something. Boxing was never known to be full of college graduates. Okay? It wasn't never known. for guys in this league just being like having really high IQs of some kind of study or something. No, boxing for a whole lot of people, they turn to it to make money because they don't have any other way. Okay, you do have some you do have college graduates and all that, but I'm saying most people no. You don't go to fucking school, graduate, do all that shit, and get a degree in something, and then, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to box. I mean, it can happen, but I mean, for the most part, no, boxing is a grueling, tough sport. Okay? It's not for somebody who sit on their ass and like to be pampered, and all of a sudden, one day they find themselves in a boxing ring. No, boxing is tough, man. Let me tell you, for him to say what he said, I'm like, why is this man throwing such low blows to make a point? Like, what are you trying to say? Like, and I'm listening to all of this, and it's okay. I see what he's trying to do. First off, like I said, he's deemed himself president of the self-pity committee, and he's pretty much trying to get people to look at it like, yeah, Tyson Fury owes me that. When he had nothing. First off, Fury came back and fought 2 fights. I think he donated his money or something like that. But at the same time, you keep bringing that up and saying, making that point. But you yourself, all of us have went through some tough times. So when he keeps bringing these points up, it's like people eat up everything that comes out of his mouth. Here's the reality, though. Even with that situation being what it was, and the fight being called a draw, okay, now we're going to do it again. Right? Then we're going to do it again. Here's what I'm looking at now. With all of what happened, I don't know how much of a big deal this is going to become overall about what we saw with Jdeas. But with all this investigating going on, Wilder should know what was happening in that corner. So we'll see if he's going to address this, or if Jdeas is going to address this, because Jdeas has been quiet this entire time. Wilder has just decided to speak up. So we'll see if they have an answer for what we saw in that corner. Because I know for a fact that everybody out there, everybody knows. Like I've already said, if we saw that, like I said, Fury's manager touching, doing whatever with his hand behind the towel and, dropping shit and everything. Look at everything right now that's being said as it's proof. See, look and notice this and notice, right? All this just that fucking picture, that picture. But now all of a sudden, they have the answers for, oh, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. And again, regardless, we're saying it could have been this, it could have been that. See, the difference is this. You have guys claiming they know what this was and that was, and we have all these different claims about this happened to the person, that happened to the guy, and this happened, and the doctor said, and the photographer said, and this was all of this bullshit. Okay, so let Aries tell you. I can't tell you what it was because I can't really identify it. But it looks suspect. And all of a sudden now, the same fight, more evidence, but it's not evidence, right? Because it's swinging the other way now. So we're going to see what happens, and we're going to put our ears to the street to hear what's going on. Because this whole thing, it started making me laugh when I saw that shit, and I said, you know what's funny? The fact that right now all the finger pointing is starting to go the other direction, and these people keep coming up every single day, not every week, not every other day, not every other month, every single day. There's either more evidence or more lies being told. Oh, this happened, that happened. I see all of these other channels clickbaiting y'all, telling y'all, look, man, I done said this shit already. They didn't even have a fucking case. They didn't even have a court case yet, okay, between Fury and Wilder. But these channels are telling you Fury lost the case. He was forced to drop his fight in this December. He was all this bullshit. They're lying to y'all just to get views. Then they sit there and lie their ass off and y'all blow their Patreons up. But, that's your choice. But it's so crazy because for anybody, especially you guys that love to respond, hey, but it could have been this and that, but how do you know? Do you ask the LDBC those questions? But how do you know this? How do you know that? But it could have been, no, you don't. Why? Because you are one of the fucking minions. So anything that you feel works against Fury, oh, it's evidence, it's proof. No, what we saw. Explain that shit. Since y'all love to always say what something was, explain it. Right, you're going to say it could have been this, it could have been that. But if it comes out of Wilder's mouth, or if it comes down out of one of these LDBC channels' mouth, then it's true, it's fact, it's law, because they said it. That's how y'all operate. But like I said, so for y'all to say, a doctor could easily lie and say that Fury passed his test. Well, they could lie and say that Wilder passed his test too. One of the stupidest things, here's what somebody said. Ain't no way in hell they gonna do that for Wilder because he's a black man. Why they gonna lie for Wilder? You motherfuckers seem to forget. Tyson Fury is not American. He's British. So y'all, oh, but he's still white. And I'm like, here we go with the race card shit again. Again, we back to the race shit. So, no, they'll cheat for Fury, okay, because of Fury's white privilege. He's white. And they'll cheat for him. But, no, they won't do it for Wilder. So that's why it couldn't been, so Wilder couldn't been, he couldn't have been on any type of thing. Okay, so he wasn't on any steroid. He wasn't on any drug, or it would have been this piss test, right? Because they wouldn't lie for him. Well, if he was drugged the fuck up, if he was drugged up, and his piss test came back clean, that means what you're saying is, no, Wilder's lying. Because whatever it was would be in his system. Or, oh, they just had a miracle drug that, oh, it's going to wear off soon as the 7th round ends. Right. So you see how y'all put y'all foot in your mouth. One hand, no, they wouldn't lie for him because he's black. Well, his piss came back positive. So what muscle relaxer, what, any of that shit would show up. Just like when you go to get blood work done, what do they tell you the day before? Don't eat nothing in that morning. You got to pretty much fast. Everything you do before midnight. What do they tell you? Why? Because it will mess up the results of your test. So all of a sudden now, you realize, damn, I did put my foot in my mouth by saying that. Oh, yes, you did. So his test, so Fury, both of their tests came back positive, but they lied for Fury, but told the truth on Wilder. Or they lied on Wilder? Which one was it? Was he dirty and they hid it from him? Which one was it? So with what we just saw, just pay attention to what's going on, what's yet to come. And see, I'm not getting caught up with the he said, she said. We already went through all the, it could have been this, it could have been that. That's not what I'm concerned about. Unless someone actually speak up and say something that knows anything, it's always going to be speculation. And this is my point. I'm not looking for a reason to be able to say, we finally got something on Wilder. Nope. My thing is, this is the same fight. And it took 2 fights for all y'all to combine it to try to make a point against Fury. But at the same time, right within the same fight, nobody saw that until now. And what we saw, we're not going to sweep that shit under the rug. We're not going to act like it didn't happen. No, we're going to investigate motherfuckers, and we're going to push this shit the same way to let's get some answers. Simple. Why not? And since this thing has been going on for like 9 fucking months now, and well, hey, cool. It's like a court case that never closed, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it's almost like just when you think there's nothing else, no, it's always something. And I'm you know what I'm more interested in? I'm more interested in hearing from Jdeas himself and Wilder, right? And I want to watch how the whole train starts to stack up with everybody being able to say, see, they said it was this and this and this and this. No, it wasn't that, it wasn't this. And clearly you could know. No, I've heard some opinions already, and I said, you know, because I already knew I was going to make this second video. And I said, no. You can look and see. What fucking mouthpiece you ever see is like that wide? Wasn't a fucking mouthpiece. Some idiot put, oh, but it could have been his mouth. Why the fuck would he be pressing his mouthpiece against his tongue? Ice I could understand, but that wasn't a fucking piece of ice. It was not a piece of fucking ice. Now, could it have been gauze? I would say yeah, but he had blood out of his mouth, and you didn't see anything. That was all white. Okay, so the blood, it would have been blood stained if it was gauze. Okay, and when you use a towel, you don't take the same towel that you done wipe sweat off somebody's body and stick it in their fucking mouth. So whatever he was putting in Wilder's mouth, Wilder was aware, and he accepted whatever the fuck it was. Now, am I saying it was something illegal? I don't know what the fuck it was. But like y'all said, right? They could lie for a piss test for Fury. Well, they can lie for a piss test for Wilder too. It can't go just one way. Let's take the bullshit, all the stupid race bullshit out of it. Although it's because it's just no, they wouldn't do that for Wilder because he's black, and they lie for Fury because he's white. I don't want to even hear that stupid shit. Let's look at it for what it is. You sit here and make all these claims about they lie for Fury, but y'all act like y'all know this for a fact. But yet Wilder, no, they wouldn't lie for him. Okay, well, all the people who took the time to look through the footage to try to find anything. The fact that this came up, and all of a sudden, here's the funny thing, right? Y'all keep asking to explain that glove, but y'all think y'all can explain this. Y'all can't explain shit, but y'all can explain this because it works against Wilder. And the whole thing, like, when I look at Wilder sitting in that corner, I'm thinking, Wilder looks like he's out of it, man. He's barely responding. And you know what? To watch how he was staggering all over that fucking ring. One round, it was like he just fell off balance and like his legs was gone. I think that was the 5th round. And basically, if you know a guy's not going to quit, and like we said, Mark Breland did speak to Jdeas about stopping the fight. But if you know a guy's not going to quit, it's like you got to be there, okay, to save this fighter from himself. Even the commentators, when they was talking, it's like we know that, and they were saying, you know, at the end of the day, Wilder has a family to go home to, and you know the referee's job is to make sure that the fight is safe. So you fired Mark Breland, and then too, right? Why was it in the 6th round that Jdeas came in the ring instead of Mark Breland? I mean, if it was Fury's corner, people would be asking the same questions. Only the difference is with these guys, they wouldn't be asking you the question for you to answer it. They'd be asking you so they can tell you why, because they think they know all the answers. It's speculation to me, but it's suspicion. So no, it's not about, well, since y'all said it's about Fury, I'm going to say this about Wilder. No, what I am saying is if it goes for Fury, it goes for Wilder too. Because now there's some suspect-looking footage, okay, that makes Team Wilder have to, hey, what was going on? That was some shady business. And of course, oh, that was nothing new. No, well, we all can look at the same thing and say, well, it was nothing on Fury's side. We're not going to crucify one fighter and let the other walk free. And in the same fucking fight, we see something now that we didn't see before. So no, it wasn't no fucking mouthpiece. No, it wasn't a mouthpiece that fell on the floor. No, it'd be fucking stupid for the fucking train. Why in the fuck would he be pressing his mouthpiece against his tongue? No, it was not a piece of ice. And even if it was gauze, if it would have to be gauze he didn't use yet. Did you see him break any gauze and save a piece? Okay, you understand what I'm saying? No. You see blood on a towel. You didn't see any blood on that gauze. That gauze was white. Whatever that fucking shit was, it was white. So if that's what he was pressing on his tongue, it would have had blood on it. I mean, duh. It would have had blood on it. Well, listen, we're going to keep putting these minions on blast. We're going to keep destroying and crushing them. And every time they come up with some bullshit, we're going to counter it. And we're not going to sit here and act like we didn't see what we saw. And we're also not going to sit here and act like if it was shoe on the other foot, they wouldn't be jumping all over this by now. Come on, people. What was that white substance? Let me tell y'all something. If Tyson Fury was sitting in that corner and Sugar Hill was sitting there with his hand working behind the towel and putting something in his mouth, they would be saying he was giving him something to boost his energy up. Trust me. They was giving him something to boost his energy up, whether he was winning or losing the fight. They would be definitely saying that he gave him some illegal substance. and that they definitely lied on the piss test, because you can clearly see him putting something in Fury's mouth, and y'all know that's what will be happening. So every single time you guys open your mouths to say that Fury did this and Fury did that, all I'm saying to you guys is, okay, you have no proof, but you simply believe, right? Well, have that same energy. Have that same energy with this video. Be fair and say, okay, we need to find out what's going on. No, you guys are automatically going to have the answers because you know everything, right? Look, it's just kind of funny to me. My break is over, get ready to be over, and I'm about to go back in here and get back to my job. But I wanted to get this video done. Also, I welcome all the new family members, and listen, I got a lot of comments now, and it's harder to get to all of them. So a lot of comments I might respond to late. If I missed any, y'all all know, eventually, we'll communicate. And so when I get my time, that's what I do. I go and try to just pull up different videos to try to answer, respond and things like that. Because it's a lot more comments now, so it's takes a little more time, a lot more time actually. And where I live, my area, Wi-Fi is terrible. It's like, so everything is a slower process, because I can post something right now, and once the video is up, sometimes you guys post and I'm online, but then by the time I see the question, it might say like 30 minutes ago, and the whole time I'm sitting right there, so it is what it is with that. But yeah, man, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the participation, and the family's growing, man. We're growing, we're getting stronger, and it's just going to continue to grow, and we're going to continue to put out the truth, logic, reason. That's the content we deal with. We don't do bullshit over here. So and of course minions will always see it different, because, well, minions are biased, but fuck them, we don't care. We're going to do what we do anyway, you understand? So anyway, y'all, we going to stay focused, and we going to see where this goes. But truthfully, what I really want to see is a fight. My whole interest in this situation is just fairness. You can't sit here and shoot shade all over Fury, but then when it comes to Wilder, all of a sudden now, but nah, it wasn't that. No, we just dismiss it. No, fuck that. That's not how that's going to happen. We are going to keep pressing. But my interest personally is the fight itself, or see these guys. I want to see these guys fight. That's what's more important. But no, we gotta be fair about everything, and we gotta look at shit for what it is, not for what we want it to be. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say in this video, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Look, never fall in love with lies, and remember, the truth brings the hate out of people, and minions are lying, hateful people. Go fuck yourselves. Peace to the family.